Hello and welcome to Getter Farms. We're back with another episode of Riverbend Springs. Yeah, Riverbend Springs. It's only the second time we're playing on this map. We're trying to remember the names of all the new things in FS25 here. And we're picking up shortly after the last episode. I have finished harvesting all of the wheat in this field, which is the last of the harvesting of our fields. I was kind of thinking we might take on some harvesting contracts here, just because we've got this harvester and I hate to have equipment sitting around. So it might be fun to play around with some of the new contracts in FS25. I haven't actually done a contract in this Let's Play yet. I think we might have done one during the live stream. I can't remember. But they're very different now. They're much more specific than they used to be, especially the mowing and baling contracts. Those are all separate now as opposed to being all wrapped up together into one thing. So let's see what we've got here. If there's something nearby harvesting, I've got field 20 way up in the corner, and then field 60, which is technically closer, but I'd have to drive the combine through the downtown area, where if I go up to field 20, I feel like this is a big part of town too, but I feel like field 20 might be a little bit easier for us to get to. So I'm going to go ahead and grab field 20. Now, these contracts expire in 14 and a half hours. So we're going to go ahead and grab this one. I don't want to overcommit myself, but I am going to have to get that done today if I pick that up. So we're going to slow time down to 1x. We're not going to go all the way down to half x, but we'll keep things at 1x while we're running things, because I've got our seasons play on 1 day months. And so as soon as we're done with this, we'll be into September. Now, I should probably get a header trailer, but I'm going to see if this will squeeze out the gate. No, sirree, Bob. Let's go get... I probably could have made it work, but I have a header trailer. We might as well use the header trailer, right? Right. All right. Our header trailer is actually all pulled out here into the middle area, so let's see if we can figure out how to drop this onto there. Trying to not overshoot it. That looks pretty good. Do I need to lower it or just drop it? I think I just drop it, right? There we go. It snaps on. We'll take it. And I'm going to go ahead and haul this with the combine. That way I don't have to bring anything else out here. Get my camera out of the barn here. There we go. Looks good. And now we should be able to get through the gate no problem. I'm not entirely sure where we're going, so I'm looking at the map here. We're going to hang a right at this next intersection and then kind of jog to the left and then the right and get all the way up there. So let's see if I can figure this out. The gas station here, I believe the next road is where we're going. Let's maybe go external. There's a lot of trees here on Riverbend Springs, which makes using an external camera a bit difficult, especially with the larger equipment here. But let's not take out a sign that we don't need to. We're gonna head on up this way. Let's see if our flashers work on this thing. I can't recall. They do. There's no lights on the actual back there on the sides there. It took me a minute to see where they were. All right, well, we've got our four ways on, and we're just gonna haul ourselves up this hill. This combine is pulling a little bit here, it feels like, and I was thinking that guy might step out in front of me for a second there. All right, nobody coming. Up the hill we go to our field. I have to say the improvements to the mini-map with the contracts, with the big flashing circle and such, is most appreciated. I've definitely been able to find things a little bit easier with the changes to the UI. I know a lot of people haven't been quite as impressed with some of the new UI stuff, but I, for one, actually like it. I was gonna dump the header off on the right-hand side of the road here, but actually I think we're gonna pull all the way up here. We've got a nice kind of a driveway or access road to that field in the back here. And this will give me plenty of room to drop this trailer and get my header attached. So if we just kick that off there, and I don't want to find out if I shouldn't be able to destroy the crops because this is a contract, even though I have crop destruction on. We'll drive over a few feet there just to test it out, make sure that that's still the case. It appears to be. And then we'll get this hooked right up here. Awesome. And we are going to leverage a worker to knock out this contract. So I think what I'm going to do is bring it on down here. We'll get him turned on and started. I think I've just got to get out onto the field a few feet and then push H and let the worker do its thing, line itself up however it likes. Shouldn't be a big deal. And we are going to have to bring our trailer over here to haul this canola at some point. However, that'll be a little bit before we need to worry about it. So I'm going to just let this guy go, get going on this contract. And I do like, we used to have a mod for this in 22, but up in the corner, we've got our harvesting percentage for the contract completion, which is awesome. And we have to jump over here and work on this tillage here momentarily. But before we do that, I don't want to get too distracted. I'm going to go ahead and get the wheat in this tractor put into our bins so that it's all emptied out. And then we might even just drive this up to the field so that when the combine gets full, we can empty it out real quick and keep going on the harvest contract. I think knocking out a few contracts, especially early on here in our farming days when we don't have a whole lot of money, is going to be the best way to pick up some additional equipment without having to take out any massive loans, which I have a tendency to just take out loans. But I think this time around, I want to maybe leverage some other mechanics like productions and contracts and things like that to keep the farm afloat, especially since we're in base game. Normally I'd like to be playing, I'd say, fairly realistically and just running my own farm, but I think this is going to be a great opportunity for us to check out some of these other game mechanics in the base game playthrough here because, well, we just don't have access to a lot of the styles of equipment that I generally prefer to use. So I'm going to push myself out of that comfort zone, and we're going to just keep running with what we've got. Now this is a knockoff Amazon or UPS truck. That's pretty cool. I like that we're seeing a little bit more variety in the traffic running around on the map here from previous games. Much appreciated. The visual variety of cars and stuff is one of those little things that makes a difference. Trying to be more cognizant of not pulling out in front of fast-moving traffic as we get onto some of these major roads as well. Could turn on our flashers on this tractor for traveling down the road, I suppose. And we're being overtaken by the mailman of all guys. And then you're going to stop and deliver the mail right in front of me? Is that the name of the game? You're going to wait for the pedestrians? That seems uncalled for. The mailman didn't want to run somebody over. I don't understand. That was a pretty cool traffic encounter, though, I'll have to say. He passed me. He slowed down for the pedestrians. He stopped at the stop sign and turned with a blinker on. Way better than previous games, that's for sure. So it's good to see progress. I'm going to give him props for this. I was fairly grumpy, I think, during some of our initial live streams, checking things out on FS25, but I've started to warm up more and more to some of the smaller improvements as we've gotten going here. I am going to just bring this guy out here. Well, maybe as long as I'm here, we'll unload that combine. I don't know if there's going to be enough room for me to get in between the fields here. I should have gone from the other side if I was going to do this. There is enough room here, so I could be unloading him on the go. Let's get down here and give it a shot. We'll see if I can get him unloaded before he hits the end row real quick. This tractor actually turns pretty tight. I like it. Alright, whoa. Just going a little fast there. Gotta watch our speed. Contract is 10% complete. Sounds good. Alright, I think he's empty. I wasn't really paying attention. If I'm not mistaken, you can see the percent full of either the combine or the grain cart when you're unloading. I don't remember which, but I remember seeing it, and I just wasn't even looking at the HUD. That's all right. I'm going to leave this guy parked over here. He's rolling down the hill. Let's put the brake on. This guy did get emptied out. He's going to town on our headlands, which puts us over here into our tillage. Now, for better or worse, we did the skip lanes on this. Somebody mentioned in the comments of the last video, and I really like this idea, is if I had another tractor set up, I could be doing those skip lines, and we would be able to knock this field out in half the time. That would be a great way to do it. I think that is actually meant for things like mergers and stuff. If you were using that where you don't want to run down every line, you want to like do every other and merge it together or something. I'm not really sure, but we are going to change modes here. We're going to do the steering assist mode, and then I'm going to just go ahead and start hitting these lines myself. We're going to see how well we can do at knocking this field out. Shouldn't take very long. Whoops, we had our steering wheel all over the place though. And stop. That's a problem. It turned too much. It grabbed the angled headland instead of going down the next row here. This might take a minute to get into the groove of it. One skip lane actually might not be enough for us. We might have to do more than one if we're gonna try and do this accurately. Oh, this isn't too bad. We'll get it. I'm having to slow down a lot to manage all of the controls. I don't have my Stream Deck set up right now with the correct button configurations for the new FS25 guidance steering mod. It's not a mod now, but the feature function. I'm so used to leveraging Wobster's version from the previous iteration of the game. And that was a complete failure. I was trying to turn into this other row. I think this is going to be easier when I'm not on these angled rows. I'm not coming off of the previous row far enough to get turned into the next row. Oh, we've got a little spot there. It's all right. We'll get it. We'll take this other short row to my right back up, and we'll clean up this bits that we've missed here. Luckily, there's not that many more rounds here to go. I always forget to turn off my help menu. I need to remember to clean up that little spot on the end here, where we'll have some spots for our planting cycle here, since our drill is not able to direct drill. And we need to figure out what we're gonna do for planting crops that can feed those cows through the winter. I just didn't even think about that, but I guess we're gonna have to get some grass working equipment here so I can get some bales, which we may even get a bale wrapper. We'll do some silage bales. That was something that I had apparently not done a whole lot of in Farm Sim 22. We actually had to go get the bale wrapping achievement at the very end there, so I had to buy a bunch of equipment and go knock that out in the final days of FS22. So maybe we'll take this opportunity, since we've got the cows, to go ahead and do some silage bale wrapping while we're on this small starter farm, and I think silage is going to be a great way to keep those cows fed through the winter. I think it's worth 80% productivity, and eventually we could even get into doing some TMR, I suppose. I think we'll start with just silage bales though and see where that goes. I'm just not a big fan of how tight in I'm having to turn to hit these next rows. I think maybe we will skip a skip row and see if we can do this a little bit more efficiency. Then we won't have to spend so much time on the end of every row. I'm keeping an eye out for a notification of any kind that our combine is getting a full over on the other field. I haven't seen the 80% warning, but I'm also usually not the most observant when it comes to some of those notifications. All right, now this time we're gonna pull in here. Nope, I don't know why it's skipping to that one when I'm clearly in this one. There we go. It's trying to predict where I was turning based on, I think, how far I'd angled the tractor, maybe. So in thinking things through, now I'm suddenly regretting that we put canola up in that field by the farm. That would have been better fields to put grass in, those 3 smaller fields up there for making some silage bales. And then we could do canola down in this field. So we'll probably let the canola slide in that one, and then I'm going to put grass in the other 2 fields up there. And that will let me hopefully get enough bales to keep those cows going through the winter. And then this will give me a big enough field that hopefully we'll make some money off of this. But planting this field now means we'll see that money a year from, is it December or January, when canola hits its high price. So we're really kind of planning for the distant future. Part of me wants to just double down on the bales maybe, and we could sell some bales mid-year if we need to make a little bit of extra money. I'm trying to think through things. This field would give us a decent amount of bales, I think, maybe by comparison. I don't know. It's so hard for me to estimate. I haven't done a lot of baling work in my history in Farm Sim. I guess the Iowa Dairy Series, we got into it, but I was really not trying to do a ton of baling there. We set up a lot of automation, but I suppose I have those nice MacDon swathers that we could use with a mowing head here in FS25. That might be a good excuse to plop down a sizable amount of money to get something like that going. So I think that's the new plan that's forming in my head. We're gonna take our investment in that canola field. We'll keep that one little canola field, as much as it pains me to have it be right smack in the middle of everything else. And we're going to put grass everywhere else to start out with, and we're going to double down on bales over the rest of this year. I think I can get at least 1 cutting of grass off before the end of the year, and then we will be able to decide if we've got too many bales in the spring, and we could plant another crop, like maybe even corn for silage. It might be fun to do some animal silage like that. I'm just going to take a quick look at the map here. If I plant grass, it looks like the harvest is year-round. So I'm expecting I would get 3 months of growth out of it here. If I planted it in August, I'd be able to cut it in November. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Worst case, though, yeah, I can switch into another crop in the spring. I really think that is going to be the play here. So let me just switch this back so I don't have lines on the screen. And I believe what I'm going to do, let me bring up the screen again. I want to get rid of skip lines. That was fun to do a little bit of tillage ourselves, but not what I want to have to do on every field. I think if I'm going to have the worker do it, I want the worker to just do it and get it done. So we're gonna knock out tillage on these 2 fields so that we can put grass in, and it looks like AI worker B, our harvester, is finally starting to get a little bit full here. So let's bring this guy right out in the field here, and I'm gonna tell the worker to figure out how to go. He should be able to knock out this tillage relatively easily for us here. And then we'll be back to sort out our grass in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, I'm really curious to see how much canola we have. Ooh, I better speed down here so I can catch him before he makes the turn back into the next row. I don't know if we're gonna make it, but if I don't, we're gonna have to stop the harvester so I don't have to drive over the crops. We're not gonna make it. Oh no. We didn't make it. Hang on. This guy is trying to push his way through. There we go. We'll just unload here real quick. Should be able to... Oh, here we go. I can see my Farm Tech trailer is 60% full and climbing. We should be able to get all of this in there, I hope. Maybe not quite. It looks like it's getting full rather quickly. All right, we didn't quite get it all in there. That's okay. I'm going to back this guy up, though, and just put the pipe in, and we're going to see if I can just start the worker right back off here. And hopefully he'll just figure out how to turn around into the correct row. Or something. I don't know what he's trying to do. Oh, no, he's going to do something horrible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We've messed up. That's my fault. Let me turn you around. This is what I get. I'm gonna just adjust over a little bit here. We'll grab a swath and then we'll let it find the perfect row. Oh, we're getting hit by chaff. Where does this contract need to be delivered to? All the way down in the far end of the map here. My goodness. So down the main road, down the main road. That's easy enough, actually. So let's get hauling and see a little bit of the map. Don't forget our flashers. There's that mailman that can't wait to get by me. We're gonna bust through this stop sign. So I'm feeling pretty good about our grass plan. We'll get some grass cutting equipment. I think we're gonna go with the Mac-Don. As far as our mower, where am I going? Is this? That's not the road I want. It's the other main road. We got lost for a second. So we'll get the Mac-Don for mowing. For baling, I'm kind of tempted to get the self-propelled Vermeer baler just for the fun of it. This stuff is really expensive though, so I don't know how we're going to afford that. And then on top of that, we'll just need to get a wrapper of some kind, which shouldn't be too big of a deal. All right, I believe this is the main road that's going to take me all the way to the other corner of the map. Now, the map looks big, but in practice, it's actually not that big of a map, so I don't think this is going to take but a minute or two. We've been down this part of the road quite a few times. This tractor's not the fastest. It's only going 24 miles an hour, which is realistic, but I would like a nice 32 mile an hour tractor if I'm going to be hauling a grain cart across the map here. Grain wagon. I don't even know what this thing is. Oh, cool. I haven't seen the barges going through yet. It's kind of neat that they actually go up and down the river. He's going under the bridge as we speak. Whoops, we're looking at the boats and not where we're driving. There's a lot more going on the map than previous maps, although most of what's going on is very little to do with the farming aspects here. I have to say that a lot of space used up on this map with the towns and the production stuff. All those little dots that you can see throughout town are either sell points or production points around the map, which is cool. So I'm going to have to, again, push myself out of my normal comfort zone of what I'm interested in playing around with, and we're going to have to go and check out some of these different production facilities and stuff around the map, since so much of the map has been dedicated to it here. And this is a pretty scenic little area. Nice cliff faces here. I like it. Some bridges and stuff. Looking good. I'm hoping that the delivery point over here is going to have some kind of a symbol highlighting it once we actually get all the way down there. This is a nice wide open area back here though. We've got a pretty decent sized field to my right that we could check out at some point. A nice grassy area here that's not being utilized for anything. We could always expand this field, although there's some interesting structures there that might be in the way. I wonder if you could sell them. They look like they might be placeable structures. And to my left, we've got a bunch of rinky-dink fields, super small. We'd definitely want to combine some of these together if we were to ever end up buying land over here, I think. Even with our small equipment, that's only a few passes to get one of those fields planted. Although I suppose if we started doing something with productions where we needed several different types of crops to make something, that we would find some benefit to having several smaller fields, I suppose. Now, I think this is getting delivered right down here. Let's find out. Yep, I believe this is where it needs to go. So I'm going to just pull ourselves right on here and dump this canola. Should shoot our contract completion up a bit. A few percent here, not too bad. All right, looking good. With that though, what I want to do is come up here and do a job. I'm going to have this guy, I'm going to set his destination and have him drive back up here to field 20 on his own so that we don't have to monkey with it. I always forget that the base game driver exists, and I'm kind of curious to see how good of a job he can do getting out of here. I'm pretty sure once he gets on the road, it'll be fine. And I suppose I could have created a job for him to do like a looping delivery. But for now, this is going to be good enough. I don't think we're going to have more than one more trip to do with him anyway. So I'm going to let him drive back up here on his own. Our combine is going to be full before he gets back. We spent too much time sightseeing here. That's all right. We'll get the bulk of this contract knocked out by the time he gets back. I'm sure we can get at least one more pass done here. And while I'm thinking about all of our workers, I was kind of curious to see how this guy's doing. Looks like he's doing pretty good. We're on headland passes. There's a lot of headland passes because this is a pretty small tillage tool. That's okay. We'll let him keep doing his thing here, even if it is not the most efficient approach to handling these corners. We are back up here at the field, and it looks like our combine stopped right on an end row for us, or pretty close to an end row. Let's see if I can sneak in here. We're crushing a couple of crops. Not quite what I wanted to do. I'm gonna try and back up though and see if I can get this trailer under that auger just a little bit better. There we go. That should do it. And we're getting a fair amount of canola out of this field. I'm wondering if I am gonna have to make more than one more trip up to the elevator here with this thing. We'll give it a shot though and see if we can get this thing full before we head back up at least. It looks like the combine is actually going to fill me up just about. It's going to be close. Oh yeah, we're completely full already. Well, that makes it easy. We don't have to wait around then. I can go ahead and just send this guy up to unload. What I'm going to do, though, before we do that by hand, I'm going to try this out. We're going to put this guy right out on the road, and I want to create a job for, I wish it would default to my worker here, and he's going to deliver to, oh gosh, what is this thing called? It's not telling me. Let me go to hotspots. Let me click on this. This is the oil mill. All right. So we're going to try this again. We're going to create a job, and he's going to deliver to the oil mill. Assume these are alphabetical, so. And the loading position is, we'll just say right here. And it's a looping job start. And I'm assuming he's going to head on down, and then he'll drive back out and park himself in the field here once he's done. And I'll be able to fill him up with what we've got in the combine at that point. But this should do it. He should make his way down there. It looks like he has a little bit of trouble going through the intersection there. That's unexpected. But hopefully this works out well for us. This guy is going. He'll definitely finish this field up before that tractor gets back. And then this worker is apparently having some problems. So let me just take over, I guess, here. Can I at least get myself some steering assist? I think that would help greatly. Even if this guy's not capable of doing the job, we'll have to do it for him. So I'm super excited. We're making great progress here. I know we're doing lots of miscellaneous odd jobs here, but the goal for this series is to see what we can do with the base game map and really get into doing more and more. And I feel like this is the last of kind of the starting farm cleanup, I'll say, and we're finally going to be getting into doing something that we actually want to do. In our case, we're going to be planting grass in these fields and working on moving the time forward and getting into some baling here pretty quickly. That should be interesting because we've got some new equipment for the mowing and baling and stuff that we haven't used a lot of in the previous versions of FS25, so we are using it as an excuse to try out some new things, which is always good. But we've got just one last headland pass to go here today on this field, and then we'll start the worker off across the way. Whoops, we're driving over our already planted field. Hopefully that doesn't have any effect. It would be a shame if we were to wreck our planted field. Since this worker couldn't finish this field, I'm going to go ahead and knock this out for him, and then we're going to... Worker I is blocked by an object. We're going to figure out what's going on with these workers. I'm assuming that is our driver getting stuck somewhere on his way to deliver the grain. And we just need to get all these little bits done. I want to get the contract done. I want to get this field done and move this tractor over to our last field that needs plowing. And I'd like to get the drill going today and get this grass planted as well. So let me kind of catch up on what all is going on here with our various workers, and we'll check back in just a second. All right, folks, we are back. I ended up having to take like a 12-hour break here. I lost the hat somewhere in the way, and I'm at a different spot in my office. So we've got a different chair, we got no hat. It's all different, but it's the same day. Still wearing the same shirt here. We are all caught up on this contract, though, so I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this header while we wait for our tractor to get back up here. And hopefully that snaps on perfectly. I've got my pipe out, which is probably premature since we should wait until that trailer gets back up here. But I thought, why not maximize our time, get everything hooked up and ready to go while we're waiting. And I'm going to go ahead and just park this guy right back out in the field here, pointed down the other way here, so that once we get back up here with our grain trailer, we can empty out the last of this canola. There we go. And then I'm going to shut it off because we're burning through the fuel pretty quick here, and maintenance as well. This thing has burned through quite a bit of its maintenance bar there. So I'm going to have to remember we need to do a good job of repairing this equipment. Hopefully we can do some repairs on the farm. I haven't actually figured out if we have a repair point anywhere on the farm. I'm checking in on our other worker here. We did get him started on the tillage right before we checked out, and it looks like he's doing a pretty good job here. Lots more time spent turning around and backing up because this implement is so narrow, and we're not skipping rows now, but that's okay. We're going to let him keep doing that because it means I don't have to touch anything with it, and he's just going to get done. And checking in on our grain trailer driver here. We're coming back in through the town, so I'm going to go ahead and get him up to the field here so that we can finish up this harvesting contract. And we are finally up here. I'm going to go ahead and get this pulled up under here, and we will get the combine fired back up. Oh, we shut the wrong tractor down. We meant to jump into the combine here and fire that up. I guess I'm going to have to enter from the wrong side so that it knows which vehicle we're trying to get into. And I know all this will fit in there because we had a full combine and managed to get the bulk of that into the trailer before. This is looking pretty good. And you know what? I've been thinking about it. As long as we've got the machine, we're going to check out and see if there's another field out here that's worth harvesting. Field 50 is over here and could go down to the same delivery point. Field 60 would go somewhere else. I think we are going to check this field 50 and be able to deliver that canola over to the oil mill. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this other contract as well. And we will send this guy right out to field 50 now that we have finished emptying all of that canola. I'm going to drive him right out to this road here, right off the main road. Should be easy enough to get to. And he's folding everything up, should be able to handle it. And of course, we're in the way. We're always in the way. There you go. Hopefully he can figure it out from here. Maybe we'll get going first so that we're not waiting on the slower combine, as we need to drive out here to the oil mill and get this canola dropped off. Now, I don't know if contracts work the way that they used to, where we're going to have a little bit of extra left here that we can drop off and make some money from. I want to say that contracts have been a lot pickier of late, and I'm pulling over here. I'm not seeing that combine actually starting to move. There he goes. He was giving it a little bit of a wait. All right. Should not have needed to be worried. He's got it under control. We'll get going here, and we'll bring this up to the oil mill, and we'll see how turning this contract in is going to work out for us. That combine really seems to be confused down here. It's having a hard time. Maybe we'll pull over again, and I'll see if I can tab over there and fix him, because this is making me worried. I'm going to push H to stop the worker. I'm going to get us actually out onto the road here. And then if I just push H again, not quite what I was hoping for. Do I have the point set? I do, so I can at least just start that job right out of the gate. Worker E is blocked by an object. I don't know what he's blocked by. There's nothing here. Alright. Maybe he's seeing me parked in the middle of the road up here, and he can't find a path to get to where he wants to go. I don't know. However, we're going to get this guy going up to the oil mill and turn this contract in. So we have not had a lot of luck with the harvester moving down the road here, although it does look like we had a little bit of extra canola from the field, because now this contract got 10% extra finished up on its contract from turning in that last load, which is great. But this guy kept getting stuck on nothing on the drive over here. He'd be in the middle of the road and it'd say he's blocked by an object. So we took over and manually drove over to this field and crashed into a telephone pole. How nice. But I'm going to park this trailer right over here so that we can get hooked up to our header. And then I'm going to just bring this guy right up here. I think my field entrance is intended to be this little spot. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull ourselves right on into this field. And we're going to push H to get a worker going. And we'll let him just do his thing. They're pretty good about figuring that out. We're still doing tillage, and I did set this guy up to drive out to the field on his own. So he should be taking, it looks like, the short route up here, and then he'll work his way around and get to the edge of the field, hopefully. We'll find out, though. Looks like he's got it under control. I'd love to be having this guy moving on the planter, or the seeder drill, I should say. However, we have all this grain to haul when we're doing contracts, so I think he's pretty well stuck on that job. And we'll have to just wait till our tillage tractor is done to switch him over to putting in the grass that we want to get going. So that might not actually end up getting done in today's episode. We'll have to see how it goes. But in the meantime, we finished a contract. Let's come in here and collect our dollar bills. There's a nice, healthy $6,118, putting us back up over $550,000, 52 to be exact. So we're now over halfway of where we started. I forget what we bought. What did we buy with that money? Oh, the truck and the water trailer, and a whole $2,000 worth of water. So we should be good to go for a while now. Everything is looking good on the farm here. We're going to let this guy keep knocking out this contract because it keeps my harvester busy while we're busy up here on the farm finishing off this tillage work. We have to finish this field. And did I already finish the tillage on the other field? It looks like I did. So this is the last field of tillage we need to do. And we'll jump on over into doing our planting of the grass, and I think we'll be in a pretty good spot. I have no idea what this guy is doing right now. However, I think this is a great place to wrap up today's episode. We've got all these basic fall jobs done. We're going to get our grass put in at the beginning of next episode, finish up this harvesting contract, and hopefully jump some time forward. I want to see if this grass is going to get done this year. We'll get our mowing equipment either leased or purchased. I don't know what yet, and we'll go from there. I'm excited to get these animals moving. And look at that. The AI worker works great on a tractor and trailer. It's just the combine. And this guy's trying to pass me, but we're about to get to our driveway instance here, so I think he thought better of it. So the driving AI definitely improved here a bit in FS25. And I think that's the end of my AI worker path, so I'm just going to take over and drive him up here out of the way so we're not backing up traffic. Looks good. We'll park it there. And yeah, if you enjoyed the episode, hit that thumbs up button. It helps me out a lot. That's all for today. Kedrick out.